Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Girl Get Up podcast. I am your host, the Aquarian Chancellor, and this is the podcast where I come on, I share my stories. I bring my guests on, they share their stories, all in hopes that it inspires you, the listener audience, to go out and discover your infinite possibilities. So I have a guest today. Her name is Lakeisha Fletcher. Please, Lakeisha, share with the audience who you are and what you do.
Thank you. I am Lakeisha Fletcher, and I'm a published author and poet, along with many other roles. And through life experiences, I'm able to combine mindfulness and self awareness to produce like usable and valuable pieces of art in the form of poetry. So, this is pretty much what I do in my first book that I've published, Rediscovering the Goddess, journaling through my journey to redefine me in 2024. And my first book, this is what I would call a poetic journey. I'm
Okay.
also in the process of my second book with Action Takers Publishing, where I
Yeah.
co-author in a book titled Autonomy of Abundance, a conscious guide of redefining your relationship with love, sex, and money. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about the journey a little bit because in all of that, you're also a transformation coach.
I am. I am.
Yes.
Yes.
And
So,
you cannot be, I apologize, you
yeah.
cannot be a transformation coach without not first being in that state of having to transform your own life. You are just like myself from the DMV. So could you share with the audience your experiences starting out from youth and you reflect back now and you're like, okay, now you can make the connection in your journey. So let's start there. What's your youth like growing up in the DMV?
Yes, we are both natives, born and raised. So interesting. I went to, and I laugh because I'm a native from DC, and I began writing poetry in high school. So I graduated from Eastern Senior High School, proud of Capitol Hill. Whoop, whoop. And then I did my undergraduate sociology. I went to the South, Tennessee State University, and then I did my master's online and got that from Capella University. So pretty much what got me here is honing into like life mission. And so I feel my life mission is to empower people to come become their better selves. So I grew into that and like here I am. So as a transformational life coach, I'm also a healing leader. And that's where I combine my healing and my awareness of self love to serve people, to empower people. I'm also a yogi and a mother. And with that, I focus on renewed strength, vitality, and also the art of intentionality. So all of
Mhm.
that kind of makes me who I am. But I grew up in Washington, D.C., Southeast D.C. I did
That's
my
right.
education in Northeast D.C. So yeah, I'm all about what they call it, chocolate city or
Mhm.
melting pot or
The ma- They call it that now.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yes, back in the day, yes,
yeah,
they used to call
yeah, chocolate
DC. Yes,
city.
it was the chocolate city.
I'm an
Yes.
80s baby. Yeah.
Me
Yeah.
too. One of the things growing up around that time, I distinctly remember the early 90s.
hmm
I distinctly remember the early 90s, and I'm gonna tell you why. When I was younger, like we grew up Jehovah's Witness, so we used to
Okay.
go out. We used to be outside. Now, not outside, because we was outside witnesses.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I remember back in the day, just this, it used to be full. I mean, people was just everywhere, outside. Like, I just remember that. Um, and I know in our city during that time, it was a lot going on. It was a lot going on, but I just distinctly remember just the city, like you said, Chocolate City. I mean, it was just us, and so now
Beautiful.
it is a different time.
Yeah.
But all of those, when I ask about your experiences, when I talk about that, that's what do you remember about the city that makes Lakeisha Lakeisha?
Oh man. So I remember the clothes we used to wear. It was very baggy. We
Mm,
didn't expose ourselves as much as we do now. I wore a lot of baggy clothes. The Tims were in. We all wore
damn. Yeah.
Tims.
Beef
It
and
didn't matter
broccoli.
if it's hot or, if it's cold. It doesn't matter. We had the slouch socks. The girls had the 5411s, the princesses. You had to get them
Yeah,
fresh.
princess.
Don't mess up the heel part. Don't mess up the toes part. I mean, the fashion for me is what stood out the most. And just the love. The love stood out, the community. You had the grandma, you had the grandma on the next corner and the grandma on the next corner, so you couldn't do nothing. You had to come on
Hmm.
home. Everybody was talking about you saying Lakeisha, she over there doing so we couldn't get away with nothing. Yeah, the community, it was a beautiful thing. I know you had powerful women in your life, your mom and your grandma, and I also had my mom and my grandma in my life. And I mean, it wasn't nothing like your grandma. I think most of us had that
Yeah.
grandma, and she made sure we were home, made sure we had something to eat. You know what I'm saying? And some grandmas were grandmas for other people. I remember that as well,
Hmm.
friends coming over. I mean, it wasn't nothing to leave your door open and kids coming in and out. But of course, you shut that daggone door. Don't keep running in and out too much now, right?
That's
Right.
right.
So, yeah, I remember all of that before I became what I am now. I remember DC back in the day. Yeah, it was love. It was love. Anacostia Park, I remember that. Oh my goodness. It looks different now, but that was the place to be. All the cookouts.
Yeah, it
That was the
is.
strip. Yeah, that was the place to be. So yeah, Haynes Point. I remember Haynes Point,
Yeah.
beautiful. And the man in the sand, they moved it now to the wharf, the national park, but the
Okay.
man in the sand with his hands coming up. I remember all of that. Beautiful. DC is beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the city. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So, Eastern High School, you would write poetry in school. Talk about what at that age, what inspired you to write?
I actually had a class in high school, and it was a teacher, a young lady. She was teaching us journalism, and she had us to write a short story. And so the short story was a part of our final exam grade, and this was about 12th grade year, and we had to write that story. And I wrote it, and I was like, I love my creativity, I love my imagination, and it just like made me want to write more and more. And I had wrote like short poems here or there, but that class really inspired me because she validated my thoughts, she validated my
Mm.
feelings, and she also let me know like you're a really good writer. So yeah, that really definitely helped. That one class in high school at Eastern. Yeah.
Yeah. So where did that take you from there, right? In that your first poetry works of poetry. Where did that take you?
I think that through all my education, it took me a longer path of just wanting to do something with it. So like I had this creativity, I had this imagination, I had the education. I'm like, what am I going to do with it? So with that, I pretty much I started to get into like manifestation, crazy stuff in college, and from there it led me to my job. And then from there, that led me to coaching. And from there, that led me to Inspire to write my first book. So I guess just wanting to do something with everything that I had because I knew it was something inside me like it has to come out. It's bursting to come out. What is it? So yeah, I just kind of followed the path. My intuition was kind of like go here and go there. So I did it, and here I am. Yeah.
What did you learn about yourself along the journey?
Oh my gosh. I learned that we all go through transitions, whether we want to or not. So when we're born, we go through transition of learning how to walk and talk. And then we get into school, we learn that transition of how to be sociable, how to learn from management, to be followers, not leaders, so to speak. But then after we go through education and we get to high school, we go through puberty. That's another transition because for women, I can speak for a female. I mean, like our mental, it changes, it shifts, our body shift, everything, emotion shift. And then I've learned that after you go through that puberty, you go through adulthood, whether you go motherhood or whatever the case may be, you go through another shift, mentally, another shift, physically, another shift. Your mind and the way that you move is different. And then I learned even now into my 40s, going into the 50s, that's a whole nother shift. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
learned that these transitions are real. And if we don't notice them, people will be like, oh, girl, you changed. You be like, no, I don't think so. You still thinking that you're the same person, but you have. Whether it's going in the right direction or the left direction,
Mhm.
I've learned that transitions are real. You better capture them. You better realize, like, look, hold on, wait a minute, Keisha, where are you now, and where were you, or where are you going? That's why journaling is so important. Journaling down and just kind of writing down your thoughts and where you are, kind of getting that snapshot is really important. So transitions, yeah.
Yeah. That level of self-awareness that you really have to have with yourself is as you get older.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, I feel like it's the pinnacle of your growth.
Yes.
Because if you don't realize just what you said, that, oh, okay, I'm operating from an old space, like I got to catch up, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? If
Yeah.
you don't, if you're not conscious of that, you're going to keep running up against the same problems,
Mm-hmm.
trying to fix it with the same mindset, and it
Mm-hmm.
don't work.
Mm-hmm.
You were absolutely right about that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And that just brought up an idea about the food that we eat, and that's changed also. I
Yeah.
realized with my transition of growing up, I have to eat differently. One, for my clarity and my mental, my focus. And I've gotten into some herbs. I've gotten into some spices. Recently I've got into cloves, Cloves. I
Okay.
got into cloves and just cinnamon and honey and just adding those three teas and herbs, like mentally that clarity that I need as we get older. I don't know
Okay.
what it is. Sometimes menopause, girl, that's another
Uh,
that's another transition. Let me just say, I don't know if it's here or not, but that's another
be
transition.
climbing up that mountain. Yeah, when things change, girl.
So
Yeah.
we got to keep our mind and our focus together because just naturally, I mean, things happen with our body. And if we eat too much sugar, that's going to mess with our mentality. We got to leave that stuff alone. All them chips and Doritos, everything I used to like, hot sausages back in the day, the ice cream truck, right there at the
Guys,
corner. So all that
nacho
pickled
cheese,
eggs, pickled
sunflower
beet.
seeds,
No, the sunflower seeds with the vinegar, put the hot sauce in there. Don't play. Don't play.
them nacho cheese joints. I went there.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, I've just yeah, food is really important. I've realized that as well. That's another transition you make in your life, but just taking care of yourself, knowing that you want to be here with a quality of life. You want to be here mentally, you want to be here physically, socially, you want to be here all the way, not just a body, not just a shell. So yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I love it.
Yeah.
So you and I met at the Black Roots and Culture Expo recently. You and I both did a speaking engagement there. And so what led you there? What made you say, okay, let's do this. Let me sign up for this.
So I'm always trying to expose myself and get more visibility. I'm always trying to put myself out there and show up, even though there's a little bit of fear sometimes. I be ready to go when I get there before I even do anything, girl. I be so nervous sometimes, but I know where I want to be. And I
Mhm.
don't let the fear stop me. So I'm like, I'm always putting myself out there. If it's busboy and poets, if it's a black author at Expo, I mean, if it's downtown, they have like a national book festival. If I'm down there
I
passing out
love
my
one.
card,
Yeah.
all of that. Yeah, I know that it's important that I show up because what I want is consistency. And what I want is to empower people, to be an advocate, to kind of help people become a better version of themselves. So I have to do that. I have to show up
Mhm.
and show myself. And and through that, yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, yeah. Same here.
Yeah.
Same here. And I feel like that's one of the hardest things as a business owner is, I mean, I talked and I shared part of my journey there. So I'm not gonna get into it now. Maybe I'll do it like a recap of what I of my presentation. But I feel like that's one of the hardest things when we have expectations of how things are supposed to go. And then reality, and still continue to show up for yourself and do that wholeheartedly with fear, with, anxiety, all of those things that tell us, okay, you're not good enough, or maybe this, but all of those things. So I appreciate you being there and for us to have this moment, for me to be interviewing you. I appreciate you. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that because I was nervous to go, and it was about an hour away from DC, right? So we had to travel to get there. Yeah. Yeah, so we get there and then it was just like I have to show up for myself. And then I had my children with me as well. So I want to show up for them and let them know like you can it's different routes to this. It's different ways to get where you need to go. So I was thinking about how we met and you were the speaker first and then there was a guitarist after us and it was so
Mm-hmm.
much talent and we were all showing
Yes.
up for ourselves. And you can see that the grit was there, the grind was there, but also the want to help others was there. I feel like that was a really good space to be brave and it was a
Mm-hmm.
really safe space to kind of showcase yourself. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I love that you said that. It really was a safe space.
Yeah.
And shout out to BBPC because I feel like that
Yeah.
crew was really, really supportive.
Mhm.
This is the second event that I have attended of their or
Mhm.
participated rather. And I mean, from the moment I walked through the door, it was, what do you need? How can we help you?
Mhm.
And so yeah, anytime they have anything going on, I'm showing up if I
Yeah.
can. Yeah.
And you know
But
what?
to speak to what you said, my mom, so that was kind of like one of the reasons why I was a little behind because I'm trying to,
Uh-huh.
coordinate so many things. And my mom ended up showing up after, but she was calling me like during the
Oh,
presentation, like because I really wanted her to see it. But
yeah.
she came after and just as you said, she was upset. She was like, I missed it. But as you
Yeah.
said, to have your children watch you and your
Yeah.
family to be a part of that journey, like that was amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Because I speak to my children often about entrepreneurship and, if they want to get a job or if they want to work for themselves and have people work for them. And I show them the difference. I try to talk to them and not just talk, but show them the difference because it's a grind. When you're out here doing it on your own, it's a constant, consistent grind that you have to do. And I'm showing them that. And I'm like, come on, y'all, it's time to go to another thing. They're like, Ma, come on, let's go. It's time to go because this is what it takes. Or I could just go to my 8 to 5, my 9 to 5, and be there and come home. It's different
Yeah.
ways to do it. It's not a right or wrong. It's just different ways. And
Yeah.
funny thing is that my son was with me. He escorted me to the bathroom. Girl, these sons are
Okay.
something else, right? They got to
Oh
make
yeah.
sure you are where
Uh-huh.
you say you are.
The
So
grown ones
he
too.
Yes, he escorted me to the bathroom and coming back, I had a chance to speak with the owner, the director, I guess the manager
Yes.
of the
Hmm.
expo, and he was like, "We have another event coming up later this month. I would love for you to be on our authors panel." I was like, "Look at what I have
See what
shown
I'm
up!
saying?
Woo, woo,
Just
woo,
by showing up for yourself.
woo!" Look, just by showing up, so I got to meet
I just up
you,
with
how
that.
amazing you are, and I got another opportunity to show up again in front of
Yes.
my son, right? Nonetheless, so. Yeah, yeah. I'm grateful for so many blessings from me listening to what I'm supposed to do and following the path
Mhm.
I'm supposed to be on. Yeah. Yeah.
Obedience.
Yes.
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 And sometimes you feel like questioning, like even trying to coordinate. I was like, you know what? I was supposed to be here. I wanted to get there a little bit earlier than I did, and then, but just whatever. But girl, I was like, don't leave. Show up for yourself. You go in there, you walk in there, and you do everything you need to do. Girl, I was double parked. I ain't even parking a parking space. Like,
That's
no,
what's
I'm going
up.
to do this. Yeah.
Yes. Determination. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, how no, let's talk about the book. So,
Mhm.
tell everybody, excuse me, the name of your book and what inspired it.
Yes. So it is Rediscovering the Goddess. I have it a copy.
Yes, that's
Journaling.
beautiful.
Thank you. Through my journey to redefine me. And so it's a workbook. And I know you have a similar book as well. And I love how we give our readers space to express themselves. And so with this, I have 88 affirmations in here.
Okay.
And it guides you through a daily practice, a daily routine of how to start off your day and how to end your day. Now, you don't have to go step by step, but I give a preview of my transition that I was going through during this time. I give just like a snippet of my story in my introduction. And then I give the reader a space to have a space for daily gratitudes, a pleasure list,
Mm-hmm.
And their affirmations. And then there's a non-pleasure list. So some things that may work for you, like I want to maybe get my nails done and I want to work in my garden. That's your pleasure list. And then the things that's not so pleasurable, your do-overs may be take the dog for grooming or maybe wash the car, something like that. And so it gives you a space at the end of the day to come back. At the end, you'll do your reflections from today. So pretty much you'll start your day with gratitude. You're visualizing how you want your day to go. You write down your pleasures, what will bring you joy. Your affirmations like I am great, I am awesome, I am the bomb.com. Look, I'm showing my age. And then you can visualize your day. You write down, like, I see myself walking across that stage at the awards program or whatever, like that, maybe. And then towards the middle of the day, you can come back and do your non-pleasures, what didn't work so well. And then at the end of the day, you reflect from today, like what happened today? What's going on with me? Let me kind of wind down and write everything. And the bonus is my poetry. So
Yes.
while you have your workbook, you also have your affirmation. As I said before, 88 days of affirmation. And I do a poetry. I do some type of poem that I was feeling at some point in time. So 88 of my poems I share with the audience, the
Wow.
readers, to let them know. So yeah, it's a 2-for-1 deal, and it's a really good book to get started, to jot down your notes. And remember those transitions I was talking about? You want to make sure that you jot that stuff down. Write it
Yeah.
down and really take key. Be mindful of what you're doing because it matters. Because you may find this book maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, like, where was I back in 2025? Oh man. Okay, well now I got a house, a car, and I got a man. Okay, okay. Where my picket
Everything
fence
by so
at?
fast. I forgot the struggle part when I didn't have those things and what was going on in my mind at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a
Yeah.
struggle, right? The beginning part is a
Mhm.
struggle. Like we're grinding. And then when we get to our million, trillion, $1 billion, I'm like, girl, do you remember our podcast
Mhm.
on March 1st?
Would you like to share a poem with the audience?
Oh, sure.
I'm gonna go on mute. You go right on ahead.
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to share. This is one that I would say kind of sums up where I am today. In the beginning, I wasn't quite I wasn't quite polished, I would say. I wasn't quite as poised. And that's what growing up is. So now, as I've learned a few things and life has given me some lessons to learn, I come back and I'm going to say, this is back and better. This is my poem, Back and Better. Day 86. So the affirmation is, I am conscious. So I am stronger. I am wiser. I am healthier than before. I am a goddess. I am a queen. People look and all adore. I am sensual. I am more than anything you could think of. I am renewed. I am abundance. People try but can't ignore. I am strong. I love to explore. I am well diverse and have a sense of self. I am an overcomer. I am a lover. I am entertaining, never a bore. I am desired. I am beautiful. People stare when I walk through the door. I am her. I am royalty, overflowing with grace, leaving my people wanting more. Snap it up, snap it up.
That's all right. So
Yeah.
you're working on a new book of, is it poetry? Is it a nonfiction? What is it?
So it's more from the nonfiction. It is more scientific based, and we go
Okay.
more into the psychology of abundance and what
Mm.
limits us from abundance. So I take it from a generational standpoint when
Oh
I look
wow.
at where my mother was, where I am, and where my kids will be, and how we all relate to love, sex, and money. And we all do it differently. Because my mom, she was born in the 50s, so she kind of went through that era of, they didn't quite, they were the baby boomers, so they kind of had a
Mhm.
lot to go through. I'm gonna just say that they were baby boomers. And so she was a part of that crew, and the love was a little different. The way they were raised was a little different. The
Mhm.
relationship between money was definitely different, and sex, sex was what it was, and it was more abusive. I would say that generation. And then for
Right.
us, looking at this generation, when we think about love, sex, and money, it's more abundant. It's out there. It's everywhere, you know? And that can be abusive, right? We can not use it the way we're supposed to use it. And then when I think of my kids, oh my goodness, I'm trying to teach them about stocks and bonds and savings and IRA. They're like, Ma, I already know this. They the
They
AI did. You know what I'm
understand.
saying? Girl, they got to push one button. I'm trying to teach them, look, this is how you go to the ATM. You take your money out. They didn't already scared. They called on their phone. The check that went through to the bank. I'm like, what? So
Yes, they
our babies, they growing up different with love, sex, and money. You know, sex. Oh my goodness, the words on these songs. Yeah.
cartoons. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And will they know love and what love really is, you know? So I speak about that in the next book. And it's serious and it really kind of gets into what we need to do for our next generation to survive.
Yes.
Like we can't take it lightly. We can't just say, "Oh, they'll get it. Oh, they'll be okay." No, we need
Mhm.
to raise them right and train them. We need to get back to our grandmas and our moms and our dads being in the home, our family, you know, and really teaching them what love is and what money is and what trust is and also what sex is, even when we haven't been taught correctly ourselves.
Yeah. What do
Yeah.
you think that missing element is with connecting to the youth?
I don't want to sound cliche, but it's just distractions. I was going to say social
Mhm.
media, but I'm going to say distractions. And it's not just, it's like, so, for example, my kids were doing their homework, and their homework is on their phone, but also their text is on their phone, the Instagram is on their phone. So I'm like, do your homework, and now I have to say, I'm doing my homework. But then I hear you laughing. I'm like, that don't sound like homework. But then you're doing your homework. But then you like, it's so much going on. It's distractions, and that's that missing link. Because when we did our homework, I don't know about you, but we had a kitchen table with some wood chairs, and we sat down with that pencil and the eraser, and I couldn't scratch too hard with that eraser because it's going to scratch up my paper. So they had the ruler in their hand. You know, you sit down, you be quiet, and we at that kitchen table getting that homework done, arithmetic, ma'am, arithmetic. And so I think that's the missing piece. It's just too many distractions. We didn't have as many distractions growing up, you know?
Yeah, for us and them.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny. My son would tell me sometimes, just last night he had practice, and he's the baby. So he was like, he caught me in a moment and watch, but he caught me in a moment where I was looking at my phone. And when we were leaving, he said, when I'm in practice, you need to put your phone down. I want you to see me. So, and just as I was speaking about earlier, that self-awareness, like for me, it's just something small. I didn't think he noticed. I didn't
Hmm.
think he cared. He was having himself a good time.
Hmm.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. For them and us. Yes,
Yeah.
a lot of distraction.
A few things came up while you were speaking that, and thank you for sharing that because I would listen to Gail King.
Okay.
And she was like, when my kids come in the room, everything stops. I don't know if that's good or bad or wrong or whatever, but she said if I'm on the phone and I'm picking up my kids from school, I get off the call before I come and greet them. Like I want them to know I'm giving them my undivided attention because all day they've been doing this and I've been doing this. And I'm kind of summarizing what she said, but pretty much I try to follow that. So I made it a point to like when I am with them to get off my phone. Now, girl, they could be on their phone and I say, y'all get off y'all phone. They're like,
Right.
I'm on but as
Right.
soon as I get on my phone, they're like, Ma, you're not paying. So I just make it a point to be present and it's hard.
It
But I
is.
make it a point to be present. So when I do say get off your phone, you can't come back and say, Ma, you on your phone. I be like, no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. I'm leading by example. So that's
I
so
was
good
just
that
about
you
to say
said that because we have to be present. And it's so
that.
hard. It's so easy to scroll, right? But they're
Mhm.
watching and looking.
They
They're
are.
watching. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
son, he recognized you. He was like, Ma, that's the girl who had the podcast. That's the speaker. And he knew everything about you. And I was like, you was on your phone the whole time. But
You
he
know
paid attention.
You know what? And see, this is the reason why, like, I like to do my show the way that I do. Like, I try to stay away from cussing and stuff like that, and just have people on who give who are quality, like people who really have something to share.
Mhm.
Because like you just said, like my son, who you had on, like, you know what I mean? Like, if it's something that he's interested in, he will listen. Like,
Yeah.
the babies are not babies. They are in tune. They are tapping in. They are getting the information, and they're
Yeah.
going to go look for it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so I love doing this. I really, really do.
Yeah. And it
Oh,
shows.
I
It
said
shows.
thank you.
Yes. It shows.
Yeah. So what's next for Lakeisha Fletcher? What will you be doing within the next, I'd say, 2 to 3 years?
So I'm just gonna really just hone in to just being me. Now, whatever that looks like, I don't know because let me tell you, things change so fast in life. Like where I am right now at this space is what I can speak of. I can't speak of anything in the past because there's no point, or speak of anything in the future because I don't know. But what I where I hope to be. Oh, this is a this makes me nervous. But where I hope to
You don't have
be.
to share.
Oh,
You don't
okay.
want
Well,
to.
we'll just
Yeah,
see.
sometimes yeah, sometimes you don't have to share. Everything is not for everybody.
Because you know when you put it out there, it's out there,
That's why I
right?
said everything is not
Okay.
for everybody.
Girl, we here. I appreciate you. I'm grateful for you. Yes.
Yeah.
You
But
just
just know,
saved me
like
a
you
whole
said,
lot of
be
regret. You just
yourself.
saved me a whole lot of regret.
Huh?
You just saved me a whole lot of regret.
Oh, well, you
Yeah.
know what? That I'm like you said, we here. It's not for everybody. Sometimes
Mhm.
you want to just hold on. It's okay to be selfish with your dreams.
Thank
It's
you.
okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
So
you.
when you get there, you be like, "Oh, ain't nobody poke no hole in my boot." Like, yeah, it's okay.
Right, right. I love that. Thank you for that.
I'll just say you'll be seeing me. Just
Don't you worry, girl. You be seeing me. Don't you worry.
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
that.
how can people get the book that you had? Is it Rediscovering the Goddess?
Yes.
How can people
Rediscovering.
get that? And how can
So,
people reach out to you if they want to bring you onto their platform?
so I do have a few copies and I do sign them. I have a few outings that I do. I am still doing a book tour. And so
Cool.
those dates and activities and events are listed on my website, www.lakeisha So that's LakeishaGrimesFletcher.
Okay.
LakeishaGrimesFletcher.com. And also on Amazon, you can go Rediscovering the Goddess by Lakeisha Fletcher on Amazon. So, yeah. And then on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, also Lakeisha Grimes Fletcher. Yep.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
what we're going to do is we're going to include all of that information in the details. So if
Yeah.
anyone is willing or wanting to reach out to you, they can.
Yeah. Thank
So
you.
before I let you go, my favorite part of any podcast, this is a place where I give my guests the platform to give the listeners a message to inspire them to believe in the infinite possibilities.
Mm. Okay. So I would just say earlier, I was speaking about my story and it having a little bit of underlying fear in there and pushing through anyway. I would just say that not only did I push through my fear, or I continue to push through my fear, and there may be some self-doubt in there also, I still show up. And I want to say that by showing up, so many opportunities can come. It's like taking action no matter what. So even just being there is me showing up for myself. And that can really give you a greater amount of self-confidence and awareness. And I would say that, this is really big. Fear never really goes away. So if you're waiting for that moment to go out there and be like, oh, I'm ready to shine, you may not feel that. You may have to push through that and do it anyway. Like there may be fear of showing up or fear of speaking or making millions or billions of dollars, fear of maybe paying taxes. Like the list can go on and on because fear shows up in many different ways, different levels, and it's tricky. It's tricky to know what it is. So I'm a believer that there's goodness at the end of fear. I'm a believer that on the other side of fear, you're going to experience some of life's most happiest moments. And so, like for example, accepting the invitation to speak or going to the author's panel and so forth.
Mhm.
So for your listeners, fear can come up, like there may be a sense of danger or maybe a sense of fear, or you may, whether that's true or not, you may feel that way. There may be some resistance and all that. Just push through it. If it's not going to cause you immediate pain or some type of setback, I will push through it and do it. And then I will ask yourself, did I push through? And what was on the other side? And I'm almost sure that there'll be some type of success, because if you think about it, you push through it. That's success within itself. So just know that let your fear be your fuel to keep pushing, to keep striving, and to keep thriving. Yeah. Yep.
I
And that
love
was my
it.
message.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your flexibility and being here today. With that, you hang on. I'm going to send you off the right way. But with the audience, we will see you next episode. Take care, everyone.
Yes.